Absolutely. I thought you'd never say that. starts in 4 innings.
We'll see.
That's great.
Yeah, I think you got
Yep.
the middle section of the half inning is just actually we play this, but we folded.
Yeah, we folded a few times.
Somebody.
Yeah, there's one measure of this I can't.
Oh, is it?
I thought it was
Same here.
The last
no, you could play.
I was like, where did this fold the last time? Did a good job though. Who was the tutor guy we had last time?
Tough.
Yeah.
Did okay?
He did a great job, but this was one.
He kind of
This is
a little bit beyond what we expected.
This is one that eluded us, but it was okay. We kept going.
That's awesome. That's good for the sophomore and junior.
It's part of the thing. He was like, oh man, I'm like, dude.
It wouldn't be the first time that we've done that. Folded on this.
You should tell him that after the book is
And we did it again at the next one, and we did it again at the next one. Like, no fear.
Oh, excellent.
Which is
excellent. That's it.
That's like the most important trait.
Yep.
Just keep going.
Yep. Absolutely. Y'all ready?
Should we go, or do you want a minute?
Ready as I'll ever. Sure.
I quit playing somewhere around here because I wasn't sure what was somewhere around E or something. Like
Lottery.
It'd be nice as a quartet, I think.
Didn't we read that one on the last one we did? Cheever and Lottery.
Yeah.
Wasn't our finest moment.
Could we do the Gabriele Canzona Personare number 2?
Yeah, sure.
Is that all right?
That's great. That's perfect.
Well, we got some time still. Yeah. Oh, I'm ready. Sorry.
Sorry, it's in my limited repertoire. All right, here we go.
So that's what sounded pretty fanfare.
Hey,
I like it when
you're on
people
three,
turn
right?
around.
Right.
Are we starting?
In the first measure.
I'm right on the down. He's on one.
Oh.
Three. I have 1, 2, and 3 and.
And I'm on the second part.
I'll come in for the
I'm resting at the end.
Here we go.
We'll just think of it as like the outro.
Double augmentation. I do double augmentation.
As you can tell, that was an articulation study for me. I'll try it this way this time.
Now I'll try it this way.
Yeah.
Brian, what's your like?
We have 5 minutes. Or my name's Brian.
Oh, that'd be good.
Really? Fun.
My name's Brian over.
Is that all right?
That's good. Whichever. What do you guys want?
I love that.
Yeah.
My name's Brian.
Yeah.
Falcon.
Yeah. So Chantal number 5. This is the Vern Reynolds transcript.
Yeah.
This is Vern Reynolds, right? Yep. Okay. And I promise I won't get lost in this one, right? When I say it,
Okay. That's,
at 71, what's up here?
oh, okay.
So the 4s are always the same tempo, right?
And 3s are always in 1. There's 3 at 172.
So are the quarter notes?
It's kind of in 2. It's like bum, 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 bum.
And the quarter note basically about a half.
The 3-ness.
Right, so the quarter note's the same. Between the 4/4 and
Well, no,
Rough
quarter note's not the same.
No?
The half note.
half note becomes dotted quarter.
The half note comes. Yeah. Half note comes.
Oh, got you. Yes, half note becomes.
Right? Bum, bum, bum.
I've got dotted quarters. So as long as you tell me, as long as I something, I'll be okay.
Yeah, so it's
I'm
not,
in position to wait for him, okay?
so we'll play one more tune, you think, or should we just
It's
play?
only a couple more minutes. I
Oh,
would
okay.
probably just leave it for it. That way I can just start fresh and
That's
y'all
the
have
best
to try it
chin
all.
we've ever played.
It was great.
I didn't miss a note.
Bum, bum, bum.
Played like you never played before.
All right. Worried about that one.
So pop and
Pump and then have
Can we,
Ready right up after it.
can we just play Winter Wonderland instead of Pomp? Or
pump and pump. Just remember there's gonna be a pause.
Right. And she's the one who's gonna. She's probably gonna wander away. And she's not gonna be anywhere near.
So like when you see the end of the HBCs, you'll know that that's gonna be pretty close to the pause.
Okay. And the PhD students are front.
Yeah.
so we're watching Craig for sign.
Okay.
Excellent. That I can see. All I see is a black silhouette of you. Oh. I see a silhouette.
Lighting up my head.
Didn't they ever clear up in your eyes like the point where you don't?
Not really.
I mean, it's still like stuck in my periphery.
What happened?
And like part that I read inside.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like a little collection. If you look at the surface of it, kind of went like that.
Wow.
So like it was supposed to heal itself, and it usually does, but mine came back.
They told you like not to lift stuff.
No, it was based on a like a nasal steroid.
Okay.
It's a side effect of that.
We can put it right in the wall and it's causing the blood vessels to kind of
But everything's cool with your sight. You're not gonna.
No, I'm okay. I mean, it's just a little weird.
Keep things even more complicated. I've never done a graduation here in the car.
dog that feeds the country.
Yeah. Did you see me close it? I just know dogs are curious. My dog
Like I
is
said,
the
dogs that pee in somebody's front of the case. Like,
Joe, as soon as the dog came by, he saw me close my case. I just didn't want to check it. I mean, Lucy's always sticking her nose in crap.
it's a pretty German Shepherd.
I gotta smell it. You want dog pee or...
you rest
Go
of
ahead.
it? Okay.
All right. Fire when you're ready.
Glasses.
Is it? Who's? It's us.
Sorry. The three of us.
Oh.
Please be seated. Good morning and welcome to the LSU's 2087th Commencement Exercises. I'm F. King Alexander, President of LSU, and to open our ceremony, I invite you to please rise for our national anthem sung by Mr. Ransom Woodson, who is graduating today with a master's in music degree. Mr. Woodson will be accompanied by the School of Music Brass Quintet. Well done, Mr. Woodson. I'd like to correct myself. This class of 2015 graduation ceremony is our 287th commencement exercise at LSU, but it's a great class and the largest graduating class in our history. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce a few members of the platform party. Would you please be seated? And please stand as I call your name as part of the platform party. Dr. Belle Whelan, our commencement speaker. Dr. Kevin Cope, President of our Faculty Senate. Ms. Tammy Milliken, President of our Staff Senate. Other members of our leadership team, Dr. Rick Kubek, Interim Vice President and Provost of LSU. Ms. Linda Bonin, Vice President of Strategic Communications. Dr. Kurt Kebler, Vice President for Student Life and Enrollment. Dr. Dan Lizell, Vice President for Finance and Administration. Dr. William Richardson, Vice President of LSU Agriculture Center and the College of Agriculture. Dr. Isaiah Warner, Vice President for Strategic Initiatives. Dr. Jane Cassidy, Senior Vice President. Matthew Lee, Vice President for Academic Programs and Support Services. Dr. Derek Riveras, Vice Provost for Diversity. Mr. Cliff Van Oy, President and CEO of the LSU Alumni Association. Would you please join me in welcoming our great platform party? Thank you. The road to graduation isn't traveled alone. There are many individuals in a student's life who help pave the way to success. First, I'd like to recognize all the parents, grandparents, spouses, children, and honored guests who are here to celebrate this wonderful academic achievement and accomplishment. We applaud not only your loved one's success, but also your tireless support along the way to this great milestone. If you are one of these, would you please stand to be recognized by our students and everybody else in the audience? Also, our faculty represent another critical guidepost along this road to graduation and academic success. Our university faculty aren't just exceptional scholars, scientists, and researchers. They are also skilled educators committed to providing an excellent foundation to every student who crosses their path. I ask, please, that our faculty stand to be recognized by our audience today. The summer 2015 class has 672 graduates before us today. Over 330 bachelor's degrees, 330 graduate degrees. Over half are men, almost half are women. They represent 41 parishes in this state, 32 states in this great nation, and 34 countries from around the world. Our undergraduates average in age from 20 that are graduating today to 49. This is truly an impressive class of graduates. Let me point out also this class of 2015 represents the largest African American graduating class in LSU's history. It represents the largest Latino graduating class in LSU's history. And once again, the largest female graduating class is the class of 2015. Now, if I could briefly address the graduates today, it is an honor to stand before you and officially recognize this great educational milestone. Ceremonies like this began over 600 years ago to signify the mastery of an academic field of study. Today, we celebrate your mastery and present your accomplishment to the community, the state of Louisiana, and this great nation. Because of the impact you have achieved as now an LSU graduate, this recognition does not simply belong to you, though, sitting before us. It also belongs to all the family members who have strived and sacrificed so much. It belongs to the citizens of Louisiana for supporting you. It belongs to our outstanding faculty and staff, and it belongs to our over 250,000 alumni of LSU who are alumni and friends of this great university, who have committed their resources because of their belief in the ability of you to change society. Take for a moment to look around you at your fellow classmates and keep this in mind as you graduate today. You are now among the world's top 30th percentile in educational success and achievement. More importantly, you're among the world's top 7th percentile in educational success and achievement. In other words, the attainment of a college degree places you in an enviable position right here in the United States and around the globe. I share these facts with you for two important reasons. Number one, to remind you of what a significant accomplishment this truly is for you and for your family members. Secondly, though, and more importantly, it is to remind you of your responsibility and obligation to all those in need of similar educational opportunities that would undoubtedly enable them to maximize their potential as individuals and as global citizens. As one of the world's most educated citizens, you are now being handed the mantle enabling you to provide widespread hope and global opportunity. Through your individual and collective intellectual ability, you are needed to help free others from the bonds of human ignorance and prejudice. You are needed to make the right societal choices that expand prosperity and reduce inequality. You are needed to provide the future ideas that will help feed and shelter an expanding world population. And you are needed to ensure that the next generation of children and students have more educational and economic opportunity than previous generations have enjoyed, no matter if they live in Louisiana, Los Angeles, London, or Laos. In short, you are needed to make the world a better place. You have the tools, you have the skills, and you have the talent to do so. And the benefits you reap can impact not only your own individual lives, but have ripple effects around this globe. Every one of you here today we have great faith in what you have accomplished and what you will accomplish. We are among your biggest fans. Your LSU family wishes you the best of luck in these endeavors and will take great pride in everything that you accomplish throughout your lifetime. remember that you are never alone in the path toward success and global impact. Your alma mater forever stands strong behind you. Now, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker, Dr. Belle Whelan, a good friend, an LSU graduate, and president of the SACS, or Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission on Colleges. Dr. Whelan's career began in 1972 at Trinity University in Texas, where she received a bachelor's degree and a double major in psychology and sociology. She then received her master's in developmental educational psychology from LSU in 1974, then culminated her educational training with a doctorate in educational administration from the University of Texas, Austin in 1984, with a special concentration in community college leadership. Since then, Dr. Whelan continued her crusade for the expansion of access for higher education for large segments of society, not just regionally, but nationally and internationally. For 40 years, Dr. Whelan has taken on roles such as faculty member, services officer, campus provost, community college president, state secretary of education for the Commonwealth of Virginia. In several of these roles, she was the first African American and/or woman to serve in these capacities. This is the case for her current role as being the first African American and the first woman to serve as president of the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission on Colleges, SACS as we know it, one of the main 6 regional accrediting bodies in this nation. As president of SACS, Dr. Whelan provides national leadership in the dialogue on accreditation policy. When an institution of higher education achieves accreditation, as we have done this past year, it is one of these accrediting bodies that gives us the ability, and it gives our students the ability to receive direct student aid from the federal government. Governments and reputable private entities only recognize accredited institutions and are thus rewarded with recognition and enrollment in federal and state programs, thus creating the cycle of capable and creating institutional prosperity and the degrees that you grant. A goal of Dr. Whelan has pushed throughout her whole entire educational career. Aside from her many accomplishments, awards, and recognitions, including 4 honorary degrees, Dr. Whelan has also been named among one of the top 100 most powerful women in Washington, D.C. by Washington Magazine. Honored graduates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Belle Whelan home, back to LSU, and acknowledging all the accomplishments she has achieved. But welcome home, Dr. Whelan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am truly honored to have been invited to share in this wonderful experience. To the parents and other supporters of the graduates, I'd like to congratulate you on the success of your loved one, and for many in the raise that you will now have because you don't have to pay tuition anymore. To the faculty and staff and administrators of this wonderful institution, I salute you for assisting these graduates in their quest for educational excellence. I know the struggles have been many, but for your professionalism and willingness to go that extra mile, indeed, it has added to their success. And to the graduates, I say, you done good. You have successfully completed the college experience and reached your goal as a college graduate. I know there were times when you saw the light at the end of the tunnel and thought it was a train coming at you, and it was coming at full speed sometimes. I'm sure there were times that you felt overwhelmed by the myriad of papers, projects, and tests that were required of you, but today is proof that you overcame them all and successfully. Some of you were able to work hard enough to earn honor status, but whether you're graduating summa cum laude, magna cum laude, or thank you loud, we are equally proud of each and every one of you. Before I begin my, it's all right, you can applaud that. Before I begin my prepared remarks, I need to give you your final exam. I'm sorry. As the president of a quality assurance agency, I have to ensure that you've really earned this degree. So I'm going to ask if you turn the lights on the graduates for me. And graduates, if you would clear your hands of anything you're holding and sit up toward the front of your seats. This is all the graduates. I'm going to count to 3. And on the count of 3, I want you to stand up, throw your hands in the air, and as loudly as you can, shout the word hallelujah. Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Very good. Now, for some of you, as you walk out the door, for others, 5 years from now, you won't remember who I am or anything I said. But you will remember I had you sitting on the edge of your seat shouting, hallelujah. You ever wonder why we have speakers at commencement ceremonies? After all, only a handful of people are going to listen to what they had to say beyond the actual ceremony. But usually commencement speakers are old fogies like me who have experienced a lot of success in life and are asked to share with graduates some of the words of wisdom or lessons that we've learned over the years. So that's my task today. I have 5 things I want to share with you. I know that I am not the reason we are here today, so I won't take long. First, take time to say thank you to everyone who helps you every day. None of us gets done anything by ourselves. Whether you're the lowest paid person or the highest paid person in the organization depends upon everyone to do their job, to get the job done. Back before the Chicken Soup for the Soul books came out, there was a 2-volume book called Life's Little Instruction Book, written by H. Jackson Brown. It was a series of one-liners that he had written to his son as he was going off to college. And my favorite one in the 2-volume set is the one that says, "Be as kind to the janitor as you are the chairman of the board." Because everyone has a role to play in an organization, and no one's job is any more important than anyone else's. So stop and say thank you for people who help make you successful, starting today with these wonderful folks in the audience above, and then continuing every day as you go to work. Second, life is not a popularity contest. Everybody is not going to like you. You're not going to like everybody. I work with people every day I don't particularly like, and I'm sure they don't particularly like me either. But you have to learn to respect the position that everyone holds, even if you don't agree with it. You have to learn that it is much more important to be respected for what you stand than it is for where you stand. People will remember how you treated them. Number 3, dress for the job you want and not the one you have, and learn that there is a difference in the way you dress for a job and going to work than it is when you're going out clubbing or to have fun with your friends. This is an interesting time in our employment life because this is the first time we've had multi-generations of people working in the same offices sometimes. Unfortunately for many of you, most of those who are doing the hiring are still old farts like me, who are only interested in the part of your body starting with a B, that is the brain. I don't want to care about your butt or your boobs, it's only your brain in which I'm interested. You don't have to have designer clothes to look good, as long as you look professional, because I need to know what you're bringing to offer to better the organization with which you're working, and not what you're looking like or how you're dressed. So until you are in a position to hire folks and you really don't care what they look like, get over it. Fourth, believe in yourself. When I was at LSU, it was a very different time than it is now. The Klan was marching down one street and streakers were running across the other. You just kind of didn't know on who to focus at that particular time. And even before that, I grew up in the segregated South, where I was part of the group that integrated the local high school. And I had an old 8th grade teacher. I mean, she was old as the hills, probably my age now. And we couldn't understand some of the things that she was saying, and certainly didn't understand why people would not want to go to school with us because we had permanent suntans. But she told us 2 things that still in 2015 on many days hold value for me, but for very, very different reasons. In 1964, when I was going to high school, she told us two things. Number one, that obviously black people were the most important people in the world, otherwise white folks wouldn't be making such a big deal over us. In the 70s, the same thing was said about women. In the 80s, it was sexual orientation. In the 90s, it was physical disabilities. Every decade, we have picked a different group on whom to pick. And so she was trying to tell us that it doesn't matter what you look like, it's what you're carrying around in your brain, that it's other people's problems when they're finding reasons to keep you away. Don't let that cause your behavior. The second thing she said was that it really didn't matter what we looked like because we were all Americans, and American ended in the letters I-C-A-N, I can. And she never wanted us to say what we couldn't do until we had at least tried. I have walked in many situations where I have been the only woman or the first woman or the only minority or the first minority, and you can't let that get you down. You walk in and say, I'm an LSU graduate, deal with it. Whatever I look like, this is me. It is who I am. So get over all those other kinds of things and believe in yourself. If you have together, then it doesn't matter what other people think. Usually it's jealousy that's driving their fear anyway. And fifth, you probably are going to like least of all, and that's the one that says, learning is a lifelong activity. It doesn't end with today's ceremony. Whether or not you ever enroll in a college class again, you must never stop learning. Your employers are going to require that you continue to retool in order to stay current in your professions. Keep asking questions. Always remember that there is no stupid question. I taught child psychology for 10 years, and one day we were talking about the advantages of breastfeeding babies versus bottle feeding babies and how the nutrients pass from mother to baby and how you bond because we haven't found a way to detach a breast yet. And I had a young woman ask me if black women had chocolate milk in their breast. True story. Faculty know we live for stories like that, don't we? It keeps us motivated. And after the laughter died down, I told her, I said, you know, that was indeed the most interesting question I've ever been asked, but to the best of my knowledge, there are no flavoring packets in black women's breasts. All breast milk is the same. But I also cautioned them that they should thank her for asking the question because you cannot laugh and grow an ulcer at the same time. So she had just prevented them from having an ulcer because they had their good laugh for the day. You must never stop asking questions. Think about what would have happened if we had not tried to find a way to work a remote control. We'd still be walking across the room, turning a dial, changing to only 3 stations that went off at midnight when they sang the national anthem. Or we'd still be using an old-fashioned typewriter, or worse, paper and pencil to keep our notes for us. Or actually have to remember a phone number to dial a dial in order to get the person to answer us on the other end. Think of those kinds of things if we had not continued to evolve and learn. We make progress through learning. So if you thought when you turned in that last paper or that took that last exam that you would indeed be your last, you're wrong. I hope, however, that you know that from now on you'll find some fun in learning because you don't have to do it. I want to close with a story that I ran across one day when I was in much need of an uplift. It's called The Rose, and it talks about lifelong learning. The first day of school, our professor introduced himself and challenged us to get to know someone we didn't know. I stood up to look around when a gentle hand touched my shoulder. I turned around to find a wrinkled little old lady beaming up with me with a smile that lit up her entire being. She said, "Hi, handsome. My name is Rose. I'm 87 years old. Can I give you a hug?" I laughed and enthusiastically responded, "Of course you may," and she gave me a giant squeeze. "Why are you in college at such a young, innocent age?" I asked. She jokingly replied, "I'm here to meet a rich husband, get married, and have a couple of kids." No, seriously, I asked. I was curious what may have motivated her to be taking on this challenge at her age. I always dreamed of having a college education, and now I'm getting one, she said. After class, we walked to the Student Union building and shared a chocolate milkshake. We became instant friends. Every day for the next 3 months, we would leave class and talk nonstop. I was always mesmerized listening to this time machine as she shared her wisdom and experience with me. Over the course of the year, Rose became a campus icon, and she easily made friends wherever she went. She loved to dress up, and she reveled in the attention bestowed upon her by her other students. She was living it up. At the end of the semester, we invited Rose to speak at our football banquet, and I'll never forget what she taught us. She was introduced and stepped up to the podium. As she began to deliver her prepared speech, she dropped her 3x5 cards on the floor. Frustrated and a little embarrassed, she leaned into the microphone and simply said, "I'm sorry. I'm so jittery. I gave up beer for Lent, and this whiskey is killing me." I'll never get my speech back in order, so just let me tell you what I know. As we laughed and she cleared her throat, she began, "We do not stop playing because we are old. We grow old because we stop playing. There are only 4 secrets to staying young, being happy, and achieving success. You have to laugh and find humor every day. You've got to have a dream. When you lose your dreams, you die. We have so many people walking around who are dead and don't even know it. There's a huge difference between growing older and growing up. If you're 19 years old and lie in bed for 1 full year and don't do one productive thing, you will turn 20 years old. If I'm 87 years old and stay in bed for a year and never do anything, I will turn 88. Anybody can grow older. That doesn't take any talent or ability. The idea is to grow up by always finding opportunity in change. Have no regrets. The elderly usually don't have regrets for what we did, but rather for things we did not do. The only people who fear death are those with regrets. She concluded her speech by courageously singing The Rose. She challenged each of us to study the lyrics and live them out in our daily lives. At the year's end, Rose finished the college degree she had begun all those years ago. 1 week after graduation, Rose died peacefully in her sleep. Over 2,000 college students attended her funeral in tribute to the wonderful woman who taught by example that it's never too late to be all you can possibly be. So there are people from the registrar's office here with fall applications and schedules for any of you who think that it's too late to enroll. I'm sure they'll be willing to consider it. It is indeed my sincere hope that each and every one of you will continue to set goals and successfully reach them, find a way to enjoy each and every day that is bestowed upon you, and reach back and give back to ensure that those students still in school have the opportunity to also see their dreams come true. Congratulations to each and every one of you on a job well done, and thank you for letting me come home to celebrate with you.
Thank you, Dr. Whelan, for that wonderful message. And we are honored that you have come home, and we are honored that you are an LSU grad, a friend of LSU, a friend of public higher education throughout the southeastern states, and we will stand beside you in all the fights that go forward. So thank you, Dr. Whelan. Before presenting the degree candidates, I would like to recognize a graduate who has just been commissioned as an officer in the United States military, following in an LSU historical commitment to service that began as early as 1860, when LSU was the seminary of learning of the state of Louisiana. And so I invite graduate Travis Martin Richard, representing the United States Army, to the stage to repeat the oath of commissioning. And I also invite Lieutenant Colonel Lawrence House, head of our Army ROTC detachment, to administer the oath. Lieutenant Colonel House.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Travis Martin Michelle,
Having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States
having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States
in the rank of second lieutenant,
in the rank of second lieutenant,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Lieutenant Colonel Richard. Before we confer the baccalaureate degrees, I'd also like to recognize those in the audience, our graduates who are first-generation graduates in your families. If you are a first-generation graduate, would you please stand to be recognized by our students, graduates, and our audience? Congratulations to each of you on this truly intergenerational accomplishment. Before we confer baccalaureate, advanced, and professional degrees, I asked Interim Executive Vice President and Provost Richard Kubek to introduce our university medalists.
Thank you, President Alexander. The University Medal is presented to those undergraduates with the highest grade point average among all bachelor degree candidates. On this day, I am pleased to recognize Nicole Louise Mill, who's graduating a 3.936 grade point average. Nicole, would you please join us on stage? Nicole is the daughter of Mark and Jenny Mills and is from San Diego, California. Nicole graduated from Westview High School. Today, she will be awarded the Bachelor of Science degree with a major in Sports Administration and a minor in Business Administration. Nicole's favorite place on the campus is the Quadrangle, and her favorite professor is Eric Ingman. Her favorite class was Introduction to Sports and Leisure Administration. The most interesting thing she did while at LSU was work at the athletic ticket office. She had excellent mentors and made lifelong friends while perfecting her customer service skills during her time there. Working at the athletic ticket office gave her the tools she needed for her current position as an intern at the Philadelphia Eagles ticket office. Her internship with the Eagles helped her determine that she wants to continue working in sports administration. Nicole also relates that being at LSU was a college experience that everyone should embrace. You get the crazy fans, beautiful campus, and memories you'll cherish forever. So please join me in congratulating our university medalist, Nicole Mills, with a round of applause.
Thank you, Nicole. With a 3.93, I want to know the faculty member that gave her the B. We now are to the point of why you're here. We now confer the baccalaureate, advanced, and professional degrees. For doctoral students, the role of mentor is of critical importance throughout an educational career, typically ranging a doctoral degree from 5 to 7 years in length. Doctoral studies are demanding and require students to focus intently on the particular area of specialization. A candidate's major professor, assisted by other members of the faculty, closely guides the students through research and writing, providing a trusted sounding board both academically and professionally along the way. Each of our doctoral students who crosses the stage today is accompanied by their faculty mentor, usually their major professor or representative from their department or program. That individual will assist in the hooding of his or her student with a doctoral hood, which serves as a symbol of a student's full membership into the fellowship of academia. Dean Massey, would you please present the candidates for Doctor of Music Arts, the degree of Doctor of Music Arts?
Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Musical Arts please stand? President Alexander, in recognition of the completion of all requirements for the degree of Doctor of Musical Arts, it is my pleasure to present these candidates to you.
João Paulo Casarati, accompanied by Professor Jeffrey Perry. Ashley Denise Kelly, accompanied by Professor Griffin Campbell.
If our graduates would, the two over here, with the authority vested in me by the Louisiana State University Board of Supervisors, I confer upon each of you the degree of Doctor of Music Arts with all the honors, rights, and privileges thereto pertaining. Congratulations. Dean Massey, would you please present the candidates for degree of Doctor of Philosophy?
Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy please stand? President Alexander, in recognition of the completion of all requirements for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, it is my pleasure to present these candidates to you.
Tagreed Salah Abikel, accompanied by Professor Delicia Matthews. Puspa Lal Adhikari, accompanied by Professor Kanchan Mati. Getanet Adenegnu, accompanied by Professor Clint Wilson. Christopher Adam Aiken, accompanied by Professor Aaron W.A. Van Gemmert. Jamari Raymond Akins, accompanied by Professor Mary Lou Kelly. Chase Kobe Andropont, accompanied by Professor Isaiah Warner. Deb Mondari, accompanied by Professor Jeffrey Gillespie. Bikash Bandari, accompanied by Professor Ed Bush. Bidur Bohara, accompanied by Professor Bajaya B. Karki. Marcy H. Boudreaux Johnson, accompanied by Professor Paul Mooney. Mary Ellen Brown, accompanied by Professor Cecile Guin. James Edward Bruno, accompanied by Professor Carrie M. Dooley. Albert Sidney Camp IV, accompanied by Professor Rafael Orozco. Shaoli Shanda, accompanied by Professor Ed Bush. Jeffrey David Cunningham, accompanied by Professor Aaron Sheehan Dean. Laura Nicole Del Rose, accompanied by Professor Janet Norris. Matthew Charles Dishinger, accompanied by Professor Brannon Costello and Professor Pallavi Rastogi. Raymond Doe, accompanied by Professor Michael F. Burnett. Kathy Lee Eshte, accompanied by Professor Paul Mooney. Elif Felice, accompanied by Professor H. Nisi Mokam. Tong Fu, accompanied by Professor Lei Wang. Waduge Indika Subora Gopaltania, accompanied by Professor Isaiah M. Warner. Ilada Gamrek Lidza, accompanied by Professor Andrea Miller. Jean Glazer, accompanied by Professor Bill Richardson. Christopher Horace Grenier, accompanied by Professor Jonathan P. Dowling. Courtney Prentice Gray, accompanied by Professor Kenneth J. Bashing-Varner and Professor Roland Mitchell. Jacob Gray, accompanied by Professor Michael M. Tom. Mustafa Hajish, accompanied by Professor Oliver Dasbach. Vincent Terrell Harris, accompanied by Professor Kenneth J. Fashing Varner and Professor Roland Mitchell. Aubrey A. Heath, accompanied by Professor John Blake. Ying Hu, accompanied by Professor Oliver Dasbach. Mary Catherine Hudson, accompanied by Professor Renee Kasberg. Yvette Rochelle Hyde, accompanied by Professor Jacqueline Bach. Chandan Jha, accompanied by Professor Arindam Chanda. Kayan Kanakamarila, accompanied by Professor Theda Daniels-Race. Aditya Raj Kanal, accompanied by Professor John Westra. Jungwon Kim, accompanied by Professor Martin Feldman. Krishna Hari Kwarala, accompanied by Professor John Westra. Vijay Krishnan, accompanied by Professor Ivana Gleason. Aaron Paul Landry, accompanied by Professor Wangen Ding. Renee Alyssa Lestraps, accompanied by Professor Eugene Kennedy. Jen Liu, accompanied by Professor Jiquang Deng. Lu Liu, accompanied by Professor Jane C. Garneau. Benjamin Joseph Moss, accompanied by Professor Carol Wicks. Ada de Santana Martins Rogers, accompanied by Professor John B. Malone. Caleb Dixon McMahon, accompanied by Professor Prasanta Chakrabarti. Sarah Joanne Miller, accompanied by Professor George H. Knoll. Sunayana Mitra, accompanied by Professor Marcia E. Newcomer. Bentara Charles Morton, accompanied by Professor Kenneth J. Fashing Varner. Naveed Mozafari, accompanied by Professor George. Yang Mu, accompanied by Professor Warren Wagensback. Chinwe Onwujuba, accompanied by Professor Jenna Kutreff. Barbara Cook Overton, accompanied by Professor Loretta Peccioni. Abhishek Pandey, accompanied by Professor Zhoushang Gu. Rajan Padajole, accompanied by Professor Richard Flosky. Hai Pham, accompanied by Professor Frank Tsai. Lauren Rebecca Farr, accompanied by Professor Mary Manheim. Eric James Poche, accompanied by Professor Maribel Dietz. Catherine Ann Rankin, accompanied by Professor Stephen Namikas. Da Chao Run, accompanied by Professor Arindam Chanda. Jiku Song, accompanied by Professor Michael F. Burnett. Michelle Aniki Savalainen, accompanied by Professor John Westra. Mark Allen Scheck-Snyder, accompanied by Professor Mary Lou Kelly. Kaushik Parasuram Seshadrisen, accompanied by Professor Mark M. Wilder. Jessica Lynn Shine, accompanied by Professor Supratik Mukpadhyay. Isaac Sitiane, accompanied by Professor Jeffrey Gillespie. Smitha Sivapragasam, accompanied by Professor Ann Grove. Chad Allen Thibodeau, accompanied by Professor Isaiah Warner. Marie Louise Thomas, accompanied by Professor Sophie Warney. Lindsay Meyer Turner, accompanied by Professor Janet Norris. Brandy Michelle Tyson, accompanied by Professor Sonia Wiley. Vipin Unithan Unikrishnan, accompanied by Professor Mustafa El-Sifi. Chalaya Nevin, accompanied by Professor Chandra S. Thigala. Palanda Watkins Curry, accompanied by Professor Julia Chan. Rachel Mariah Watson, accompanied by Professor Steve Namikas. Sarah Elise Whiting, accompanied by Professor Thompson E. Davis III. Charles Stowers Womelsdorf, Jr., accompanied by Professor Loretta Peccioni. Meng Si Wu, accompanied by Professor Kenneth Schaefer. Kai Sha, accompanied by Professor Jorel Moldovin. Yunyun Young, accompanied by Professor Boris Rubin. Durmis Ali Yuksek, accompanied by Professor Yoshinori Kamo. Pang Fei Zhang, accompanied by Professor Dorel Moldovin. Qiang Zhang, accompanied by Professor Kambu Liu. Ling Xu, accompanied by Professor Ken J. Chen. Mohammed Zulkarnain, accompanied by Professor Mayank Tyagi.
Would all the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy please stand to be recognized? With the authority vested in me by the Louisiana State University Board of Supervisors, I confer upon each of you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with all the honors, rights, and privileges thereto pertaining. Congratulations, graduates. Will all the candidates, actually, right here. Yeah. Dean Massey, would you please present the candidates for the advanced and professional degrees?
Will the candidates for the advanced and professional degrees please stand? President Alexander, I am pleased to present these candidates who have complied with all requirements for their respective degrees.
Amelia Grace Craven. Megan Elizabeth St. Pierre. Carrie Ann Adair. Chuck Allen Perkins. Oops, sorry. Samantha Lauren Williams. Matthew Stewart Scripidis. Morgan Lee Walker. Erin Lynn Johnson. Lauren Ray Sullivan. Rebecca Kling Acord. Evan Michael Holcomb. John Michael Kozowski. Sarah M. Dean. Anthony Joseph Castile. Sarah Rachel Micholski. Toyce Melissa Holmes. Rose M. Ford. Samantha Maneri Rauber. Helen Garrett Wilson. Maria Carolina Hernandez Duce. Michael Todd Bezdek. Shannon Elizabeth Smith. Lauren Renee Tracy. Melissa Jean Hansel. Rachel Eileen Dorsa. Ravi Kumar Vishwanath Chimalgi. Gordon Elliott Walker. Kimberly Renee Jones. Andrew Luke Hargroder. Winifred Renita Love. Raina Lynn Apinardo Baraquatro. Latrista Funches. John Robert Evans. Cameron Joseph Lobig. Abba Philip Omale. Tao Shu. Nicholas Michael Daigle. Harmony Marie Campbell. Carla Milena Proano. Amanda Joy Weathers Meyer. Trey Douglas Willoughby. Heidi Dryden Moleson. Kathy Dryden. Leah Ann Landers. Corey Raymond Landry. Troy Wendell Callahan. Amy Nicole Oquan. Sheba Lynette Williams. Robin Carla Silverman. Stephen Michael Burris. Sarah Christine Burris. Oscar Molina. Renee DePuma Cowan. Kimberly Lassard Kirby. Krishna Chaitanya Boni. David Ryan Guillory. Story J. Martin. Andrea W. Warren. Randy Fovel. Grant Nelson Broussard. Christopher Joseph Mader. Catherine Ann Montague. Lacey R. Weimer. Amanda Lynn Hughes. Brian Michael Ward. Peyton Paul Dupree. John Lawrence Dryberg. Lindsay Michelle Lewis. Arthur Landon Welch. Jace Michael Boudreau. Alexis Victoria Starr. James Joseph Dillard. James George Angerman. Jacob Stephen Foy. Vinod Abigar. Banu Prakash Reddy Dundigala. Naga Turling. Abhijit Kondapalli. Damian Ramon Antoine. Jamil Emil. Melvin Millard Lewis McElway, Jr. Jasmine Chantal Richardson. Lindsay Renee Quibido. Jane Merritt Garcio. Alyssa Danielle Kimmel. Melanie Renee Wilson. Alexandra Michelle Danos. Zhang Yang Zhang. Vasudeva Yarapati. Prashant Panaganti. Nicholas Thomas Davis. Karen Marchand Garner. Xing Li. Fractal Myrtilus. Sudabe Sharafi. Christine Gail Sabathia. Lauren Marie Yates. Leslie Allen Smith. Joy Das. Wakil Bam. Haviland Ellen Steinmuller. Danielle Tiffany Porter. Robert Ellis Cochran. Jessica Dawn Morris. Heather Van Norman. Scott McNeely Blanchard. Jennifer Patrice Williams. Ambujam Krishnan. Yogendra Prasad Subedi. Dipendra Brata. Ajit Gimari. Christy Deshay Duncan. Emily Jane Moran. Elena Blackwell Day. Amy Lynn Rome. Lauren Louise Morris. Straley Elizabeth McGill Grafton. Tiara S. Alexander. Dexter Vaughn Alexander. Abdahali Old Abdarame. Brianna K. Gibson. Doris Mueller. Erin Francie Scotro. Joanna Mikatinas Stewart. Stephen J. Blair. James Neal Maynard. Amanda Michelle Royer. Lindsay Renee Brunet. Lindsay Chanel Farlow. Gregory Harris Bogler.
Will all the candidates for master's degrees and certificate of educational specialists in the graduate school please rise? With the authority vested in me by the Louisiana State University Board of Supervisors, I confer upon each of you the appropriate degree or certificate with all the honors, rights, and privileges thereto appertaining. Congratulations, graduates. Dr. Richard Kubeck, Interim Executive Vice President and Provost, will now present the candidates for baccalaureate degrees.
To begin, I'd like to introduce the academic deans and faculty representing the colleges and schools conferring the degrees today. Please stand as your name is called and remain standing until all bachelor's degrees are conferred. Dean Bill Richardson, College of Agriculture. Dean Elkis Stalakis, College of Art and Design. Associate Dean Tim Chandler, E.J. Orso, College of Business. Associate Dean Kenneth Rose, School of Coastal and the Environment. Professor B.J. Karki, College of Engineering. Associate Dean Jennifer Curry, College of Human Sciences and Education. Dean Stacy Haney, College of Humanities and Social Sciences. Associate Dean Andrea Miller, Manship School of Mass Communication. Kristen Sanowski, College of Music and Dramatic Arts. And Dean Cynthia Peterson, College of Science. I'm pleased to recognize the candidates for the bachelor's degree and post-baccalaureate certificates. Will all candidates for the baccalaureate degrees and post-baccalaureate certificates please rise and remain standing? President Alexander, these candidates have been certified by their deans and colleges. On behalf of the faculty of Louisiana State University, it is my pleasure and privilege to present them to you for conferral of their degrees.
With the authority vested in me by the Louisiana State University Board of Supervisors, I confer upon each of you the appropriate baccalaureate degree or post-baccalaureate degree certificate with all the honors, rights, and privileges thereto appertaining. Congratulations, graduates. Graduates, you may be seated. Please follow your college marshals as they lead you to the stage to be recognized. The academic deans will now present the graduates from their respective schools and colleges. I now call on Dean Bill Richardson to present the graduates from the College of Agriculture.
President Alexander, I'm very pleased to present the graduates in the College of Agriculture.
Jonathan Blood. Brennan Bruce Bro. Shelby M. Hauk. Catherine Ann Morgan. Emily Kathleen Babel. Abby Louise Knight, graduating magna cum laude. Laurie Michelle LaRouge. Brooke Ashley Menzato. Jeffrey James Rode. Lorelei Johnson. Maximilian Moran. Amanda Louise Daniel. Cody Lynn Plummer. James Riley Melton.
Thank you, Dean Richardson. I now call Dean Alakis Tasakis to present the graduates of the College of Art and Design.
President Alexander, I'm pleased to present the graduates from the College of Art and Design.
Mariah Whitney Smith. Logan Joel Kroom. Alexandria Inkara Judy. Emily Ann Mitchell. Ashley Redmond Hall. Bianca M. Bergeron.
Thank you, Dean Salakis. I now call Associate Dean Tim Chandler to present the graduates from the E.J. Orso College of Business.
President Alexander, I'm pleased to present the graduates from the E.J. Uso College of Business.
Dennis Avery Riston. Jackson Scott Laningham. Mohammed Junaid Anwar. Brent T. Moore. Megan Taylor Dorn. Ashley Elizabeth Voorhees. Nicole Florence Mano. Russell Kevin Houston II. Caitlin June O'Banion. Rachel F. Warner. Kaylee McCasland. David Earl Whitchurch. Mandolin L. Boyd. Ashley M. O'Hara. Caleb Craig Dighton. Andrew Robert Danina. Clinton Lloyd Johnson. Bryson Jawan Ellis. Brandon Wesley Williams. Alyssa Rose Wands. Taylor Winfield Barnett. Nicholas D. Glaviano. Thomas James Piglia III. Nicholas Gerard Karam. Mason A. Barker. Daniel C. Filer. Joseph Bradford Lancaster IV. Remy Gerard Roper. Terrell E. Miller. Nakia E. Ricks. Alexander Mark Shear. Brian Edward Wingarter. J. D. Myers II. Christopher Paul Solera. Lauren Williams Robillard. Donald Bradley Morrison. Stephen Clark Wagley. Charles Allen Robertson, Jr. Kiana Gabrielle Maxwell. Kevin Justin Javon Landry. Christopher Michael Swing. Kimberly Sherelle Chapman. Katie Elizabeth Dore. Adrian Danielle Flanagan. Nakul Jaiprakash Patel. Caleb James Talbot. Joshua Peter Crow. Caroline Victoria Keith. Sean Patrick Gallagher. Gregory Mark Cass, Jr. Andrew Netherton Kaufman.
Thank you, Associate Dean Chandler. I now call Associate Dean Kenneth Rose to present the graduates from the School of Coast and Environment.
President Alexander, I'm pleased to present the graduates from the School of the Coast and Environment.
Kristen Jane East. Marianne Elizabeth Ferry. Patrick Aaron Robichaux.
Thank you, Associate Dean Rose. I now call Professor Baya Kirky to present the graduates from the College of Engineering.
President Alexander, I'm pleased to present our graduates from the College of Engineering.
Fei Ting Long. Ryan Patrick Laffey. Elvis Gianni Bolton. Brennan Thomas Stansberry. Sarah Allison Mills. J. Stanley Braun, Jr. Imran Ali. Karma Tanise Marie Bailey. Clinton Timothy Conroy. Stuart C. DeVille. Philip Nelson Abear. Thomas Tillman Rayner. Nathan Michael Kemp. Andrew Paul Kemp.
Thank you, Professor B.J. Karki. I now call Associate Dean Jennifer Curry to present the graduates from the College of Human Sciences and Education.
President Alexander, I'm pleased to present the graduates from the College of Human Sciences and Education.
Nicole Louise Mills, graduating summa cum laude. Quincy Timothy Downing. James McLeod Denhollam. Dylan Michael Richard. Sarah Suzanne Bain. Hannah Olivia Lambert. Brandon Francis Casabon. James C. Redmond. Mariah Janae Georgetown. Ashley Nicole Hamilton. Brittany Nicole Bryce. Christopher Robert Schroeder. Matthew William Schaefer. Matthew Alexander Gallagher. John Paul Trevino, Jr. Bo Patrick Stuckey. Cody Allen Fontenot. Tamlin G. Englehart. Mary Ashley Dwyron. Jessica L. Amadei. Amanda Catherine Wells. Brent Wesley Patero. Zachary Rex Ladner. Brandon Zachary Laporte. Christopher Joseph Farnett. Regiana Jalaisha Foster. Blair Nicole Carbo. Tyler Joseph Edmonston. Jada Olivia Gonzalez. Krista Opal Halford. Seth C. Fontenot. Sean Gopal Banerjee. Koi Ming Wen. Ryan Michael Neal. Sean Eric Kipnis. Caroline Elizabeth Turnley. Catherine Ruth Ruffino. Catherine E. Lalande. Eliana DeWitt Schwartz. Skylar Breon Scott. Taylor Brianna Rains. Emily Marie Forche. Lanicia Shakira Ford. Ruben Orenthal James Turner Jr. Katie Elizabeth Lindelow. Holly E. Pepperly. Ashlyn Elise Griffin. Maya Marie Kolb. Marcel Savoy Terry. Lauren Charlotte Tompkins. Scott A. Salinas. Joshua Michael Johns. Tyler James Vincent. Rami N. Savoy. Lauren Ashton Alexander. Emily Faith DeFelice. Taylor Trepanier. Connie Chow.
Thank you, Associate Dean Curry. I now call Dean Stacy Haney to present the graduates from the College of Humanities and Social Sciences.
President Alexander, I am pleased and honored to present the graduates of the College of Humanities and Social Sciences.
Karen Elizabeth Holton. Riley Michelle Holohan. Joseph N. Devin Marie DeMarco. Julia Elizabeth Van Patten. Ignis Josius. Jared Tyler Shreve. Amanda Catherine Hoffman, graduating magna cum laude. Allie Michelle Kenner. Maya Shoshana Farrand. Ian Patrick Andrus. Kelly Ann Munn. Maurice A. Williams. Travis Martin Richard. Caroline M. Schaff. Amethyst Crystal Watson. Nicole Brooke Simone. Lauren Nicole Merrill. Kennedy Marie Havelka. Sarah Elizabeth Plum. Brian Christopher Shelley. Jessica Marie Ingram. Brandon Alex Taylor. Jordan David Bardwell. Rachel Lucille Lamandola. Joshua Glenn Thompson. Grant Christopher Artigue. Ryan James Template. Brian Stanton Knowles. Drew Anthony Senegal. Moira Elizabeth Mathern. Brooke Elizabeth Crane. Gregory Joseph Angelico. Brianne Nicole Doyle. Julia Garcia. Iman Rido. Sheila Marie Boykin. Alicia Bijan Fountain. Shay Elise Leger. Janae Nicole London. LaCord White. Kip William Carter. Joshua O. Cohen. Stephen Eric Ramirez. Willie James Young, Jr. Christopher Philip Cruz. Diedrich Barty. Avery Belvin Bowe. Ashley Marie Vicari. Jonathan Edward Broussard. Anna K. Hartzog. Sarah Elizabeth I. O'Malley. Grace Mattingly Fallbaum. Amanda Lee Fertitta. Alexa Elaine Quigley. Ashley N. Photo. Jessica Ann Storms. Emily Rose Casenza. Elizabeth K. Thomas. Amira Natasha Bates. Jonah D. Austin. Dominique Alexis Richard. Nivea Joyner Viltz. Caitlin Nicole Conway. Chastity Curleen. Rocio Alejandra Lopez. Lauren A. Broussard. Heather Michelle Went. Brittany Ariana Singleton. Quinn Wynn. Adriana Maria Zambrano. Von DeLay Hatcher. Lane Wesley Evans. Nicholas T. Vandevord. Christian John Charles Eckstein. Stacy Lynn Fulton. Patrick Charles Lawler. Paige Nicole Pittman. Gage Thomas Lambert. Lindsay Megan North.
Thank you, Dean Haney. I now call on Associate Dean Andrea Miller to present the graduates from the Manship School of Mass Communication.
President Alexander, I am pleased to present the graduates from the Manship School of Mass Communication.
Omar Ismail El-Latifi. Tomas Patrick Kirby Romanoff. Elizabeth Erickson Harper. Caroline Victoria Capello, graduating cum laude. Sean P. King. Taylor Danielle Trahan.
Thank you, Associate Dean Miller. I now call on Executive Associate Kristen Sosnowski to present the graduates of the College of Music and Dramatic Arts.
President Alexander, I am pleased to present the graduates from the College of Music and Dramatic Arts.
Chad Michael Bro. Alex Clyde Bates.
Thank you, Executive Associate Dean Kristen Sosnowski. I now call on Dean Cynthia Peterson to present the graduates from the College of Science.
President Alexander, I am pleased to present the graduates from the College of Science.
Amber Lynn Thompson. Frank Joseph V. Ziegler. Mark Edward Morali. John Upton. Shitra Inarai. Samantha K. Robillard. David Andrew Sesko. Adam Taylor Walsh. Hunter Hughes Van Wy. Shelby Nicole Johnston. Nicholas Joseph Magazine. Rachel Lauren Traylor. Brantley McLaurin Grimble. Ross Alexander Kelt. Amanda N. Gibbons. Andy Alexis Hogg. Carly Ann Whitfield.
Thank you, Dean Peterson. Please, now a round of applause for all of our graduates. Mr. Van Oy, CEO and President of the LSU Alumni Association, would you care to address our graduates?
Yes, indeed. On behalf of over 250,000 proud LSU graduates around the world, I bring you congratulations and welcome to the awesome LSU Tiger Nation. Now take that great purple and gold tassel and let's at one time move it over to the left-hand side. 1, 2, 3, go. Now that permanent symbol of excellence and tradition, if you've got that LSU ring on, turn it around, take it off, turn around and face it so the LSU encrusted faces the world. Now the fun begins. The LSU Alumni Association has over 135 alumni chapters in the United States and around the world. They provide you fun and camaraderie, and it helps keep that LSU spirit alive and well. This year, we've already had alumni chapters have events and things throughout the United States, from Miami to Seattle, from New York to San Diego. And almost every parish in Louisiana hosts an event too. Last year, this spring in San Diego, to give you one example, 4,500 LSU graduates and friends showed up for a crawfish boil in San Diego, California. That's 12 tons of crawfish. It was so large they had to rent out Qualcomm Field and San Diego Chargers in order to accommodate the crowd. Now, 28 years ago, there was about 5 people that we sat around a table and asked them to get involved and do something great. So, what do all these parties and things that happen all over the globe have to do and help LSU? Well, over the years, $3.2 million worth of endowed scholarship funds have come back to the university to help the best and brightest students return to LSU. So the moral of the story is, no matter where you go, there's an LSU alumni chapter, and I encourage you to get involved. And if there's not one, I'd like you to start one. You'll be amazed at how many friends and associates you'll find and can entertain you. I encourage you to stay a member. And one last thing, when you return to LSU, make sure you look up a professor who's meant something to you in your life here at LSU. Find them and tell them thank you for all they've done for LSU and for helping you. Now, Belle Whelan, what a great speech that was. What do you think? Well, when she gets back and the secretary's available, she's going to forward me those 5 key messages. Everybody in this audience ought to get it, but I'm going to make sure the graduates get that electronically. You keep that and live by that. It's going to be great. Well, many years ago, about 1974, armed with an LSU education, Belle decided she was second to nobody and has created a career for herself outstanding in the field of higher education. Now, it's your turn to show just how great an LSU graduate can be. Go get 'em, Tigers.
All those graduating today, will you please stand to be recognized? It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the class of the summer graduation of 2015, a class of 2015 that is the largest graduating class in LSU history, the most diverse graduating class in LSU history, and the most successful in terms of the highest graduation rate in LSU history. Congratulations to you and all our grads. I'd like to thank Miss Becky Clare, who read the names so beautifully today. Thank you. Congratulations to all of you, and may success follow you wherever life takes you. Many thanks to our distinguished guests, Dr. Whelan, and so many others today for coming and joining and celebrating this wonderful milestone of not just our graduates, but families, but for LSU. Congratulations, new LSU alumni. Graduates, will you please remain in your place until the processional has left? And please stand now, as you are, everybody, to sing the Louisiana State University alma mater. I invite you to turn to the inside front cover of your program and join Mr. Woodson in this wonderful song.
Stands